So our first session as per HCL's PPT is managing computers and mobile devices in the enterprise. So how can you manage your devices which are roaming, right? Here it is asking about mobile devices also, right? So your mobile devices should talk to your servers for taking the policy and keeping the data secure. So here in this module we are going to study basics of cloud computing with Office 365 and cloud computing with Windows Azure. We'll see an overview of Office 365 products, why choose Office 365, types of migration to Office 365, hybrid environments with Office 365, moving applications to Windows Azure. So if you have a server in your data center which is in your premise, right, so you have an application here. I want to move this application to cloud, that is Windows Azure. So how you can move applications to Windows Azure. So overview, we'll see basics of cloud computing. In that we'll see overview of system management by using enterprise management solutions. Overview of configuration manager architecture. So this configuration manager is nothing but system center configuration manager. Many times we denote it as configuration manager or SCCM. Now it is MECM. Right? So all are same things. Overview of configuration manager administrative tools for monitoring and troubleshooting a configuration manager site. So what is a site? Yes, Ria. Ria,
Yes, sir.
what is a site? You are not listening.
No, sir. Sir, a site is a central location of web pages.
What previous slides we saw?
Sir, about SCCM managing
What SCCM managing?
through cloud.
No, before that what was the slide?
So managing SCCM.
No, before that you already said that.
Sir, I don't remember.
You don't remember just now, one slide before. That means you were not on the seat.
Sir, cloud.
What cloud? Already you said before that what was the slide? See, I have been informed that whosoever is not attentive in the class or who's not responding properly when I'm calling his or her name, I need to report it because it is appearing that this is the example. See, you are inattentive.
Sir, cloud computing.
That already you said. What was the slide before that? Shubham, what was that before?
Sir, how to manage mobile phones or roaming devices through cloud or SCCM.
No, but before that, what was the slide in between that?
Sir, before that slide, sir, just a model overview, sir.
Yes, sir. So what are
Model.
the topics about what we will study?
We have to transfer a server from a cloud. The cloud is a Windows Azure.
So you will complete the slides within half an hour, then I'll give you 15 minutes to review. Now, overview of system management by using enterprise management solutions. So we have enterprise management solutions. So for enterprise management solutions, first we have configuration manager, which we are going to study. Then we have cloud services and we have Microsoft Intune. Here we are going to see overview of system center and enterprise mobility plus security and configuration manager. So these are our topics. So today's enterprise management challenges include, so what challenges we face in managing the devices, whether it is a computer or a mobile device, right? So we need to maintain a standard environment. Now what a standard environment is, so let's say if a user has a laptop and a user has a mobile phone, so Outlook is configured or email is configured on both the devices, or OneDrive is configured to access the data. So from here the policy will be different, here the policy will be different, right? Now we want that both policy should be different. If from here he is not able to copy the data, from here also it should, she should not be able to copy the data. So we need efficient application management. So Outlook is an application, Word is an application, right? So we need to manage the applications also, and we need to maintain security also of that application. So if data is copied or data is sent outside the organization or not, right? So managing a mobile and cloud based workforce, so these devices can connect to a cloud, right? So these are cloud based workforce. So what are the some of your management challenges within your network environment? So
Sir,
yes.
sir, like Word and Outlook is same application. So in for PC and mobile, both the policy will be different, sir.
For Word, it can be different. If you are using Office 365, it can be different. But if you are not using Office 365, it can be different. And here we are talking about security, not email or that rules which are inside Outlook, but which are
Okay, sir.
outside Outlook.
Okay, sir.
Let's say if your laptop got stored, right? Someone steal your laptop, or let's say someone steal your mobile phone, so you will not stop working on your desktop if your mobile phone is steal, but in your mobile phone all data is there. So how to protect that data, right? So there are many examples, right? So how you can manage your systems using configuration manager, Microsoft Intune and cloud services. So you can see we have some our internal resources. So internal resources are our internal servers. We have power user and regular user. Power user is nothing but having some kind of administrative rights or maybe administrative rights. That is known as a power user. So now configuration manager side, so it will manage both the users, whether it's a regular user, power user. You can manage both the users. Right? How to manage that we'll see practically. Right? So using configuration manager, you can why we use configuration manager, we can deploy software on the user's machine. If let's say I want to push Google Chrome, they both are having a uh, desktops or laptops, and Google Chrome is already installed 6.9 version. I need to update with 7.0 version. So I need to go to manually use this machine to uninstall the software and install a new version, Let's say if we have 50,000 or 60,000 or 90,000 users, it is next to impossible to go to each and every user's machine and do the update, right? So what you can do using SCCM, you can pull the application back, right? So it will uninstall Google Chrome 6.9 and it will install 7.0. That is possible using SCCM. So you can deploy the softwares, you can deploy the updates. For example, if you want to deploy any updates related to Microsoft applications or even third party applications, you can push the updates also. You don't need to allow manually user to install the update, or no administrator intervention is required to go to the machine and install the updates. Apart from that, you can pull the inventory of the system. For example, how much is the RAM, which is the operating system, what is the build of the operating system, how much hard drive space is there, how much C drive free is there, how much D drive free is there. That all inventory system related to hardware inventory and software inventory is possible through SCCM.
Santosh,
Yes, sir.
sorry to disturb you. There's a small and quick update. That's it. So going forward, the communication session will be the last session for this batch.
So from today onwards, sir.
From today onwards. So
Okay.
you continue with the three slots, first, second, third, and fourth session will be the communication now.
Okay, sir.
I hope there is no problem in that.
Yeah, no problem.
ठीक है. Okay, you please continue.
Yeah, thank you,
Sorry.
sir. Right now, we have some devices, let's say, which are connecting to our network, our internal network, consumer devices, right? Can be laptops or desktops or mobile phones, which come through internet and through firewall connect to our network. So by using configuration manager, we can discover, administer and control intranet as well as internet resources. So intranet means within the organization, internet means outside the organization. If a user sitting on his or her laptop is coming to our organization, right, through firewall, so it will come precisely through internet it is coming through firewall to our network. So now this device should perform in which manner, what kind of application it should access, what permission it should get. So that can be controlled using configuration manager. We can use Microsoft Intune to extend and supplement configuration manager. So configuration manager has some limitations in managing remote devices or maybe mobile devices. So we integrate Microsoft Intune with our configuration manager, which helps us in controlling all the mobile devices, irrelevancy of what platform it has. So if it has Android platform, it has if any kind of another OS, Windows OS, iOS, any OS, irrelevancy of OS, we can manage through Microsoft Intune. Apart from that, you can use Azure storage to securely position and manage software applications. So if you want to keep your resources in the cloud, right, due to which intranet users as well as internet users can use the applications in a performance manner, right? So you can put your applications, your software applications in cloud storage with Azure, right? So recommended is Azure because you are going to configure SCCM or MECM and Microsoft Intune, which is a Microsoft product. So it will have much more flexibility with Microsoft Azure compared to AWS. Now AWS is a competitor of Azure. So as we have Windows, we have Linux. So Linux is a competitor of Windows or a competent product of Windows operating system. So in the same way, we have a cloud platform of Microsoft, which is Azure, and we have a competent platform of Amazon, which is AWS. So you can use either of the products, but if you are configuring your environment, which is a maximum of Windows, it is recommended that you should go with Azure because you will get more flexibility, more enhanced tools to manage your devices in your organization. Now talking about system center and enterprise mobile mobility and security. So first talking about system center. So we have system center configuration manager. So these are all family of system center. So system center is a bigger tool. Here we are going to see only one tool, which is configuration manager. So we have system center data protection manager, DPM, which we had an overview in Windows session, if you remember, in the backup session. Then we have orchestra, we have operations manager, we have service manager, we have VMM, that is virtual machine manager. So talking about configuration manager, which tool we are going to study in detail. So system center configuration manager can change and configuration management. So means what? It can control all your devices and users. So you can integrate your system center configuration manager with your AD, and using that AD, it will pull all the information which is in AD, like how many users you have, how many groups you have, how many computer devices you have. That will be integrated with your configuration manager. In configuration manager, you don't need to create any users, groups, or computers. It will replicate only whatever is in your AD or domain or in your forest. So you can control, if you want to change the operating system, you want to update the operating system, you want to downgrade the operating system, means remove and install a new operating system, you want to remove and uninstall and install any another application, you want to completely install any application, you want to install a new application, all that is possible using system center configuration manager. Talking about data protection manager, so it is related to your data protection. Not data protection exactly, but yes, data protection, it has many in-depth tools, but it is mainly focused on backupping your enterprise, and when it is required to restore the data. And we have seen already what is RTO, what is RPO, what is SLA. We have studied that. So data protection manager is mainly focused on backup solutions. Then we have orchestra or orchestrator. So it is a code free workflow automation. So for example, if you want to give any form to users, or it should automatically create a form as per the user's requirement, then we can make a use of orchestrator. Then we have operations manager, right? So it will manage your operations, like monitoring of the applications, service.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in orchestra, sir, which kind of form you are talking about?
Any form. So if you have a development team and you want to ask development team to create a form, user form, or some 3-4 page application which is a form based application, right? So instead you can make a use of orchestrator, and you can, without writing any code, you can, using a GUI tool, you can automate that.
Yes, sir.
Right, then we have operations manager, and operations manager is basically for monitoring the services which are run your environment. We have service manager. Service manager is completely focused on IT process lifecycle management. So IT lifecycle management is nothing but your ITIL. So ITIL is IT infrastructure library. So this is the pattern in which you can focus how your organization should run, how your organization should run. So whether your organization, what process should follow. So ITIL has many processes. So how this cycle of your IT process should run, what will be the first thing, when first if a user comes with a issue, what the user should do, right? Who will assess that issue, whether help desk team will assess, whether L1 engineer will assess, L2 engineer will assess that. It is a life cycle, which how the process of problem to solution will flow. Then we have virtual machine manager, VMM. So VMM is generally used for your virtual machine management if you are implementing Hyper-V, right? So you can manage your Hyper-V if you have multiple Hyper-V servers, multiple Hyper-V hosts, right? So for example, this can be your host, which is Hyper-V, and on that you have deployed virtual machines, right? So we have seen what is type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor, right? So what is type 2 hypervisor, Ratan?
Sorry, sir, forgot.
Good, good. So it is a journey to IKM, so you will not remember an IKM also means. Yes, Vaishnavi, type 2 hypervisor.
Sir, it is um, Sam not remembering.
Yes, Shubham, type 2 hypervisor.
There is a hardware, a host OS, then we install hypervisor, then there are guest one, guest two.
Yeah, so we have a physical machine, on that we install a operating system, on that we install a hypervisor, as we did in our Windows environment. So we were having Windows 10, so that is our host machine, on that we installed a hypervisor which is VirtualBox, right? Oracle VirtualBox, and on top of that we installed virtual machines. Whereas what is type 1, Abhishek?
So a bare metal.
Yeah, a bare metal. So on bare metal directly you will deploy a hypervisor. So on bare metal you can deploy hypervisors which have example Microsoft Hyper-V Server, VMware ESXi, right? So these are examples of your type 1 hypervisor. So when in production generally there are type 1 hypervisors, on directly on your bare metal machine you deploy a hypervisor and you create the virtual machines. So on this you can have many Hyper-V servers in your environment, type 1 hypervisors. So in order to manage those servers, we can make use of VMM. From a single location you can manage all your Hyper-V servers, and VMware server virtualization also. So you can manage your VMware servers also, VMware ESXi. So here we have Hyper-V, here we have VMware ESXi. Talking about enterprise security, enterprise mobility and security. So we have identity manager, which provides us with identity and access management. So identity and access, identity is nothing but a user ID, a user logon name, right? Users, groups, right? These are identities. And we need to manage the access, what kind of access should be given to these identities. That is done with our identity manager. Then we have Intune, Microsoft Intune. So through Intune we manage our mobile device management and PC management. So if let's say you have a user which is a newly hired user sitting in some remote location, she can't come to the office, and you want to dispatch a new branded computer to her or him. So when he or she starts the computer, how it will connect to a domain, how it will join to the domain. So through Intune you can do much more things. So if you have dispatched a branded new machine to that user which has a Windows 10 Pro or Windows 10 Enterprise license, you can take the MAC address of that machine and GUID of that machine, and you can upload in your Azure portal. So when that user owns the machine for the first time and inputs her organization's identity, for example xyz at xyz.com, right? So it will automatically talk to your Microsoft Azure Intune services, and it will join the machine to the domain, and it will configure the required necessary things like it, email services and etc etc. That will be done by Intune. So that is PC management. Mobile device management can be done also if a user's mobile is stolen, or for example there are multiple kind of versions in the, let's say in your organization you have 50,000 users and 10,000 users are using mobile devices. Now 10,000 users will not have the same kind of operating system. Let's say they have same kind of operating system also, they will not have same kind of build, right? Some will have different kind of Android, someone have different kind of Android, right? Some will have lower version, some will have higher version. So you need to manage all that environment. So that is possible through Intune. Then we have AIP, which stands for Azure Information Protection. So it protects information through lifecycle events. So whatever events are generated and whatever trigger happens, right? So what kind of information is going, whether it should go outside of the organization or not, how it is uh, critical. So that is done with the help of AIP. Then we have advanced threat analysis and Azure advanced threat protection, which protects us from advanced targeted attacks. So if any attacker is trying to attack your machines, so with threat analysis and threat protection, you can protect your environment. Then we have cloud application security. It assesses risk and mitigates threats. So for example, if a user is trying to send a phishing email, so that phishing email will be assessed, that risk will be assessed, and it will mitigation actions will be taken or will be recommended also. So in all environments it will not be taken actions. In some environments it will be recommended, because Azure doesn't know whether this is important email or it is actually a phishing email. So if it analysis assesses that risk that it can be a phishing email, so it will warn you that this is a phishing email, you need to take blah blah actions. Then overview of configuration manager. So in configuration manager we can manage our assets, change management and administrative features. So asset management, what kind of asset you manage? So you can manage your hardware and software inventory. Software metering. So software metering is an important aspect of CCM. And with software metering you can analyze which user is using which kind of software and what is the percentage. Let's say someone is using Adobe Reader, someone using a PDF, what we say, Foxit PDF reader, right? So you can analyze, so amongst 50,000 users, how many users are using Adobe Reader and how many are using Foxit Reader. So if you want to buy licenses, which is the recommended product, what is the major stake of the PDF reader, right? So that is helpful with software metering. We have asset intelligence. So with asset intelligence you can analyze and pull reporting, you can manage the devices. Then we have change management. With change management you can push operating system, you can push antiviruses, you can manage the content, you can manage the software updates, you can manage the application, you can manage the compliance also. So compliance means whatever policies you have defined in your configuration manager, so that policies are being met by the device, by the user or not. If they are not meeting, what action should take? If they are meeting, nothing action should be taken, so that machine is compliant. Coming to administrative features, so in administrative features we have reporting. So you can pull the reporting, what kind of reporting you require. It has more than 10,000 reports, right? So as per your requirement, what is your requirement, we'll see 2 3 examples of reporting, right? So as per your requirement you need to study what kind of reporting you require, you can pull from it. Monitoring, you can go with real-time monitoring also, you can schedule a monitoring event also, right? So monitoring will show you which machines are performing, or which machine got the application or not, how many machines are compliant or not, which kind of operating systems are that, which kind of softwares are deployed on that machines, how much is the usage of that application, etc., right? So that is done with the help of monitoring by the administrator. Then overview of configuration manager hierarchy. So with configuration manager we have site system roles. We While creating a configuration manager hierarchy, we need to consider roles, what kind of roles you will be deploying on that site or on that server. Accordingly, you need to have the site ready and you need to make the system configuration. Planning a standalone primary site deployment. So what is standalone primary site? I'll explain in some time. So it is an independent site. So integrating AD with configuration manager, configuring your configuration manager site server and site database requirements, upgrading or updating or installing a site and hierarchy infrastructure. So here demonstration will be seeing how to install and configure SCCM, that is System Center Configuration Manager site server. Right, so primary site tier. So overview of the configuration manager hierarchy. So I'll just play everything. But so we have basically two types of primary site. One is child primary, one is standalone primary. Now standalone primary is an independent site if you have a one primary site and multiple secondary sites. Right?
Sir,
But if
what
you
you have said for second one, sir? So, a standalone and second one,
child primary,
child primary.
yeah, child primary is written here, child primary,
Okay, sir.
right? So uh, where I was, so we have standalone primary and child primary. So child primary, standalone primary is a primary site where you have multiple secondary sites. So below secondary site you can't have any hierarchy, right? So if you have a small environment, then you can create one primary site and multiple secondary sites. But if you have a large scale environment, enterprise environment, you can have a central administrative site, which is known as CAS or CS, central administrative site, and under that you will be having child primary sites. So child primary comes under central administrative rights sites, whereas standalone primary site is a standalone site where there is no above central administrative site. So in large scale environments, you can manage multiple primary sites from your central console of your central administrative site. So for example, I'll take two scenarios. So this is a large environment where you can have central administrative sites, and under that you can have multiple primary sites, child primary sites. And under child primary sites you can have multiple secondary sites, whereas in a small scale environment or medium scale environment you can have a standalone primary site, and under that you can have multiple secondary sites. Now your child primary site can manage up to 1,50,000 devices, 1,50,000 devices, whereas your standalone primary site can manage up to 1,75,000 devices. And your secondary site can manage up to 15,000 devices. And your central administrative site can manage up to 1 million devices approx. So you can go to Microsoft link if you want to still study in detail. You can go to Microsoft links, docs.microsoft.com. You will get more information over there. But at present, what is our focus? We'll come to that. Right, so we have some system roles. So we have default site system roles and optional site system roles. So default system site roles are installed when configuration manager setup is run. We have site server. So site server is a server on which you install SCCM. You install your primary site, that will be your site system server. Then we have site system, we have component server, we have site database server, we have SMS provider, This does not display in the console, but yes, SCCM is SMS provider is there. Then we have optional site system roles. So we have distribution point, we have management point, then we have reporting service point, we have software update point, and we have service connection point. So these are optional. That doesn't mean we don't need to install them. These are also required for your respective services. For reporting service point is required. For fetching the updates and deploying on the client machines, you require software update point. You require service connection point in order to connect to your client machine for services. You require management point to manage your services. You require distribution point to distribute the content which you have downloaded, right? So for example, you have downloaded Google Chrome, you want to distribute that to all your devices in the network, so you need a distribution point to distribute that content. Then we have role considerations in a configuration manager hierarchy. So roles common to all configuration management deployments. See, these roles are common for all configuration management, for configuration management deployments. So size system to offload optional roles, and we require management point, we require distribution point, we require service connection point, we require reporting service point, we require software update point. So these all are required compulsorily. Right? Additional roles for a larger deployment. You can have secondary site and you can have branch cache or peer cache. So we have already studied branch cache and peer cache. Branch cache is hosted mode and peer cache is distributed mode. We have already studied that. So you can integrate with your SCCM. Then we have additional roles. So it is not coming. So for example, this is my cache, this is my primary site, and this is my secondary site. So with distribution point, you can distribute the content to your secondary site also, and from this secondary server, it will, from distribution point, the machines will be receiving the content. Now site naming conventions. So what kind of name you can give? So here we'll be configuring standalone primary site. So site naming conventions, for every site you require a naming convention. You require a site code and a site name. So a site code must be 3-character alphanumeric code. So for example, primary site 1. So this is my numeric code. Must be unique in a configuration manager hierarchy. Should not use Microsoft Windows reserved names. A site name is a friendly name. It is a friendly name identifier for the site. Must be unique in a configuration manager hierarchy. Uses the standard alphanumeric characters and the hyphen. So you can make use of hyphens, or else you need to use alphanumeric characters only. This is an optional, it is not compulsory. You can use it. Client communications, you can communicate on HTTP or HTTPS or HTTPS only. You can't simply communicate on HTTP. Either you can require combination of this or you require only HTTPS. Then objects that site system publishes in ADDS. So client installation and automatic site assignment. So for client installation, we push some agent on the client machines, which is a SCCM agent to manage that machines. We require port configuration for client to server communication. So this server here is our SCCM server. NAP, network access protection, right? It is an optional, it is not compulsory, because this is an older slide. Create a container named system management. So system management container creation is compulsory. We need to create this container using ADSI edit. Then we need to grant the site server computer account. Sorry. We need to grant the site server computer account permissions to create the container automatically. And then we need to extend the schema. See, ext extend ad schema. So this file we need to run from the installation source. So it will extend this Active Directory schema. So we have seen what is schema. It will extend the AD schema with your SCCM properties. With your SCCM properties. Now, sites database requirements, site server database requirements. So you can deploy on Windows Azure virtual machines, or you can deploy Windows Server 2012 and later machines, the site server. And site database can be either on SQL Server 2012 Service Pack 3 and later only. So it can't be below that. Additional prerequisites are required depending upon the roles installed. So for other prerequisites, you need to define what kind of roles that site server or that site will have. So minimum requirements can be verified by the configuration manager prerequisites checker. So again, the configuration manager installation media and prerequisite check.exe. So this is the path. You can run this file if you want to check the prerequisites are met or not. Upgrading, updating and installing. So if you are installing, create a hierarchy from a new design. If you are updating, you need to keep the latest versions of your configuration manager hierarchy with in console updates and possibly with out of band updates. So out of band updates should are removed generally by out subtype, and new updates have come from for that. And in console updates, so in console updates means in your SCCM server you can pull the updates of your SCCM server. Upgrading, so modernizing System Center 2012 Configuration Manager to a current version of Configuration Manager. So upgrading will directly not happen. First you need to update the your SCCM. So for updating, it should have latest patches of that version. Then you can upgrade to a newer version. And you can't jump from System Center 2012 to System Center 2016. And here we are not going to focus on System Center 2012. We are going to focus on System Center Configuration Manager current branch, or MECM current branch. So I'll share the difference in some time of this, but before that we'll move ahead. Right, so this is the screen. So you can see here, this is the 1802 version, and this is a current branch version only. Right, it is a 1802 version. So how you can install? So you need to click on the install button. So it will start the installation. So then it will ask that you have met all this stuff. Hold on, just going fast. Right, so it will ask you to validate you have all this stuff. Then you can select primary site. You can give this evaluation product or license key. You can accept the license term. You can give the updates of the downloads. So it will download the updates. You can select the language of the server, client language. Then you can select the site code and site name. You can install a primary site as a standalone site. Validate, so it shows your database name and your server, path of the SQL server, right, your SMS provider. Then configure the communication method using HTTP or HTTPS. Then yes, let's connect to it, SMS, and finally it will validate the prerequisites. And once prerequisites are validated, you need to begin the installation. So once you begin the installation, it will take around 30 minutes to 4 hours to complete the installation. 30 minutes to 4 hours. Right, so considerations for high availability site roles. So for a hierarchy, deploy site server in passive mode. Use SQL Server cluster services or SQL Server always on. Deploy a hierarchy with a central administrative site. Perform regular backups. Use multiple instances of roles when possible. So here we have studied cluster. So you need to create a cluster and you need to configure SQL cluster services. You need to deploy a site server in a passive mode. Then you need to plug it to a central administrative site. You can use multiple instances of roles when possible, and only certain roles support redundancy. So redundancies means if one role goes down, another role will respond. So we have management point, distribution point, we have state migration point, software update point, application catalog website point, application catalog web service point, and distribution point. So these 6 roles are only supported for redundancy. The rest roles are not supported. Now using the configuration manager console. So here what we'll be demonstrating, so we'll be exploring the nodes of the configuration manager console, managing data in the configuration manager console, using Windows PowerShell to perform administrative tasks in configuration manager, overview of the configuration manager tools. So you can perform Windows PowerShell commands, you can perform tasks using PowerShell commands also to configure your SCCM, and apart from that you can make use of configuration manager console also. Right, so now this is the screen of your configuration manager. So we have a navigation pane. So this is our navigation pane. Then we have workspaces. Then we have your list view, your results pane. So this whole box is your results pane. This is your results pane. This is your list view. This is your details pane. This is your ribbon button. Right. So this is your whole ribbon button. This is your navigation pane, workspace pane. So we'll be even referring move to your navigation pane or list view or details pane. So if you select an item here, item of the details of that item will be available in the details pane. So this is an overview of your SCCM console. Right, managing data in your configuration manager console. So how you can manage your data. So what we'll do, we'll so some nodes enable you to create folders, right? So you can create a folder under any node. So this is a node, for example, application management. So nest folders to create a hierarchy of objects can reside in one folder only. So you can nest folders. So this is nesting. So this folder is my under productivity because this is nesting. So in order to create a hierarchy of objects, you can nest the folders. Objects can reside only one folder only. You can categorize configuration items, baselines, drivers, and applications. So categories are not stored in hierarchy. Categories are used with the search feature. Objects can be tagged with multiple categories. You can tag objects with multiple categories. So let's say I'll play the view. So you can see this is a free text search. So you can search for anything. So if I search, it will go give me the results as per my search. Simple search, find all objects with the keyword in all of any field. Criteria search, so you have a criteria also, you can add a criteria. So let's say here criteria is added and name or name and operating system. Right, so you can see here we have client machines. So here it didn't give any client machines because we gave the operating system as server. So can use multiple criteria in each search, uses and or to link criteria, finds all objects that match the criteria. So this is how you can make utilization of your search boxes. Now there are almost 800 PowerShell commandlets for SCCM. Require installation of the configuration manager console and Windows PowerShell 3.0 and later. So for SCCM you require PowerShell 3.0 or later, and now with Windows Server 2016 we have PowerShell 5.0. So you can perform a majority of configuration manager tasks using PowerShell, useful for creating scripts to perform common tasks quickly and reliably. So that is the use of PowerShell. Yes, Sharbi.
Yes, sir.
I'm checking who is in the meeting. Swati,
Yes, sir.
Nitin, Ria.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ria, explain what we saw in last 5 minutes.
What, please.
Hmm?
Sir, I need some time to grasp it. I can't just, I have not been
So I'm
able to
not
just
asking
get.
to deliver 100%,
Sir, I have not been able
10%.
to do it so fastly. Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sorry, I didn't got it what you told. Ria, I'm asking to you.
Sir, I said that I need some time to go through it.
Yeah, but fastly, what you were saying, I didn't understood. Yeah, sorry. So what you were saying about fastly, I didn't understood. Ria? Yes, Bhargav. What we saw in last 5 minutes?
Yeah, we saw in overview of system center and enterprise mobility plus security. In the system center, we saw the configuration manager and data protection manager, architecture, operation manager, and service manager, and virtual machine manager. Mm, and coming to the enterprise mobility plus security, in June. And overview of configuration manager, sir. In this overview of configuration manager, we saw the asset management, change management, and administration features. We saw and
Hmm.
and coming and system rules, sir. Configuration management set of system roles. In the system roles, we saw default site system roles and optional site system roles.
Hmm.
In
Okay.
sorry, sir, kind of.
No worries. Yes, Vaishnavi, fill the missing.
Yes, we saw system management using configuration manager, so Microsoft Intune and cloud services. In that, we configured to deploy softwares and updates intermittently systems and matlab means power user and some a regular user difference and system centers, so enterprise mobility and security about that and Windows Azure. Uh, so in that only we learn about chain management and asset management and administrative features. In that administrative features, we learn about reporting and monitoring and that and after that we learn about hierarchy of that configuration manager. In that we learn about primary site tier, and that in that we studied about stand alone and child primary No, not that. 1 minute, sir. Yeah, in that only we learn about that, and there is a central administrator's site also above that, and it can provide the user 1 million users in that, and in standalone we can provide 1.75 lakh users, and in child side it can provide around 1.5 lakh 1.5 lakhs users, and in secondary side we can use 75,000 users. And so after that we learn about system manager site systems, site services, and site system component services, SMS providers, or like that. It comes in default site system roles. After that we learn about the yeah, that PowerShell. Yeah. After that we learn about not that we learn about that external no. After that we learn about sir. It's my missing.
Yeah, it's okay. It's good.
Yeah.
So I'll like to correct something here, Vaishnavi. So you interpreted two things wrong. So please rectify. We have written wrong. So here
Secondary side 15,000, sir. He said
15,000 only.
75,000.
You told 75,000. So this is an important question. It can come in any MCQ. Here we have
Okay.
1,50,000 devices. Sorry, not
She said
devices.
170. She said
No,
170.
no. That she told right only. She told 175,
Yes,
and
sir.
see, for primary side, child primary and standalone, you were right, but it is not users.
Huh.
It is not users. So I want to rectify this users. It is not users. It is objects.
Okay, sir.
Now objects can be users, mobile devices, computers, etc.
Yes, sir.
So here it can manage objects. So this is
Okay,
1
sir.
million approx 1 million.
Yes, sir.
Right. So rest you were correct. You were good. Bhargav was also good.
Yes.
Right. Now we'll move ahead. Me come back on the slide. Right. So configuration manager tools. So you have the tools located in the SMS setup and tools folder. So the cd.latest is your path. It is your path of your CD. What these tools provide? It provides for client and server troubleshooting and monitoring. For client and server troubleshooting and monitoring. So miscellaneous tasks such as cleaning up the content library or manually performing site updates also can be done with the help of these tools. So these tools are available in your tools folder in your CD SCCM CD and the SMS setup. So why it is SMS setup? Because its old version name was SMS. So for example, if I go to my SCCM, I'm be having a soft copy offline. Let me check. Might I have deleted? I'm not sure. Okay, no worries. I have been shown you through mounting my drive. No worries. I will come back here. Right. So tools for monitoring and troubleshooting a configuration manager site. So here we'll view tools. So monitoring site and components status. So viewing site status, component status, using configuration manager, service manager to manage components, using log files to troubleshoot configuration manage components, viewing log files by using a configuration manager trace tool. So this trace tool is very much important to view all the logs, and logs are much more important part of your SCCM. If you don't know how to read the logs, you can't stay in SCCM. Overview of status message queries and using reports to view site information. So you can see this is a monitoring site and component status, how you can monitor your site. So we have site status here, it is under SCCM only, under SCCM. So under monitoring you have overview, and that we have system status and we have site status. So you can see this enrollment point and management point have some issues. It is showing something red and critical, whereas this icon is green, so it is good, status is okay, it is good. Whereas below that only we have component status, right? Here you have site status, we have component status. So in component status you can see here also, so we have red and critical things, right? So AD user discovery distribution, enrollment user management, control management, enroll server, AD site discover server, system discovery server, right? So these are, through this you can see. So here it is showing availability also, it is offline. Here it is unknown. So unknown means then you need to check if it is offline, why it is offline, network is not reachable or server is offline, you need to troubleshoot it. So you can do basic monitoring and troubleshooting from here, this system status only, which is part of monitoring. Right, so now we have configuration manager, service manager. So launches from the ribbon in the monitoring space, displays content either by component name and then server name, or by the server name and then component name. So you can see the component name and server name. Provides a query option to view the current status, so you can query it, or you can press Ctrl Q after selecting the appropriate component name. So if I have selected this, I'll press Ctrl Q, so query for this component will run. If I have selected this, then for it will run for this component. So all clients and site components in configuration manager record process information in individual log files. By default, logging is enabled for all services. Server log files have a maximum size of 2 MB. Server logs are in the installation path slash log folder. So installation path slash log. So if I, let's say, go to my server, so this is actually the wrong path. This is for our, what do you say, SCCM. It will not show in our server, right? So when we'll install, then we'll see. Now this is trace tool, you can see this is a trace tool. So trace tool, log tool, so is installed manually. You need to manually install it, you can't physically install it. So you don't need to worry, it is already installed in the tools folder, it is copies there, you need to just copy and open it. So once you open it, then you can make the default log file reading tool. So simplifies analysis of log files because of its highlighting, filtering and error lookup features. So you can see here we have a component name, we have date and time, right? Here we have a information, what was the issue, it is running failed, what was the error, you can read it properly. So entries with specific text identified with highlighting, errors identified automatically with a red background. So if an error occurs, it will automatically make it red, it will make it red. So if you make search of any information, if you want to search for any text, so entries with specific text, so when you search it, it will automatically make it yellow and it will show you that here this content is available. So it is a find tag tool, search tool, or even filtering tool, you can filter also. So this is the use of SCCM trace tool. Now queries. So queries are also important part of your SCCM, right? When you use status message queries, you can view status messages sent to a site from client devices, run default queries, or create customized queries also. So you can see all audit status messages for a specific user, all audit status message for a specific site, all status messages for a specific collection at a specific site, right? So in this demonstration, we'll see how you to view reports in the configuration manager console and in a web browser, right? So first, what is this? So searching in the configuration manager console using Windows PowerShell with configuration manager, using configuration manager to manage components, monitoring site and component status, and using the configuration manager trails tool. So virtual machines, these are virtual machines, username and password. So this is the default exercise given here. So we will not be following all the same as it is because this is the older PPT. So review questions are not there. Fine. So what we'll do now, I'll open portal.azure.com. First we'll create our Azure lab. So I'll log in with my this
Can
account.
we go through the topics, sir?
Yeah, so okay, fine. I'll give you time, guys, to go through the topic. I'll give you 15 minutes time. So let me pause the record. Who has not got their HCL ID, they can sign with their Gmail account, but for signing with Gmail account, you need to provide your debit card or credit card. 2 rupees will be deducted at present, and you will get 200 credits free. You can see 200 free credits you will get. So, which will be suffice to perform your 12 days or 15 days lab, right? So, you will get only total 750 hours.
Sir,
Yes.
it only uses credit card and 74 rupees will deduct.
I don't know, maybe
So,
I'm not sure then.
so it
I'll
is in
have,
dollar, and I got 14,500 credits rupees in rupees.
yeah, so in so see $200, I'm not sure whether it will ask credit card because I don't have credit card. Um,
So
and
it was not taking the debit card. For India region, only credit card is required.
let me check. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
today when will be the lab started? From how many
Sorry.
time?
Sorry.
Sir, today when will the lab start? Sir?
When will the lab
Because
is?
yes,
I didn't understood. When will the lab is start?
सर
मतलब?
कब मतलब ये एससीसीएम तक कब से वो करना है इंस्टॉल मतलब ये सारी चीजें अभी कंफ्यूज है कब से करना होगा
So that's what I'm showing that only, na?
जैसे आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट कि सर अगर थोड़ा सा टाइम हो तो सर क्योंकि मेरा लैपटॉप वो रिस्टार्ट हो रहा फिर सर वो खुल ही नहीं रहा कुछ खुल ही नहीं रहा है फिर वैसे ही
But
वाला प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है
Rishi, see, that is your personal problem. I can't hold the session on that. The
यस सर
flow.
नो सर, बट सर वही मैं बोला था, अगर टाइम होगा सर तो सर मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा सा दुकान पे चल जाऊँ सर, ये सर्विस सेंटर।
See, till 4 o'clock you have our SCCM session. As per the new update, 2 to 4 will be SCCM only, and communication will be 4 to 6.
यस सर।
Sir, what about the quiz, sir? Today, quiz will be taken today only
Yeah.
or tomorrow morning, sir?
So SCCM quiz will be tomorrow. Today you will have a daily quiz.
That only, sir. No, sir. That I am asking. No, daily today daily quiz will be happen on whole today daily quiz will be updated or not?
Abhijit, listen carefully what I told. I told SCCM quiz will be tomorrow, but there will be a daily quiz today. I said like that.
Okay, sir.
SCCM quiz will happen tomorrow means what? Kal hoga, right? But there will be a daily quiz today.
Yes, so
Okay,
what's
sir.
the topic?
Any topic from last 30 days, Windows,
Oh,
like
okay,
it
sir.
was yesterday.
Yeah.
Sir,
Just
timing, sir.
timing 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So just a moment. Let me authenticate this. I need to search. Where is my authenticator app? Yeah. That account. See, you may need to do this process or not, I don't know, but for HCL people, they don't need to do this process. For other people who are registering their personal ID, they need to do this process. So you can see now I have set up I went to portal.azure.com and my account is set up. So my account is temporary, so it is a trial account. If I go to view account probably, so if I go to my subscriptions, no, this is Office. Okay, so let me go to what is asking to upgrade. So in the left hand side we have cost management plus billing. We have cost management plus billing. If I go to cost management and billing, so here billing scopes. So why it is not showing? Yeah, Azure subscriptions. So you can see it is free trial. It is free trial. I'm having free trial and probably I'll be having $200 credit. That is around 14,000 rupees. I'll be having 14,000 rupees. And if I go to the Nitin, where want we can see that who had signed up? Nitin, you already signed up, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. कहाँ से दिख?
I have done in AWS.
Okay, you have done in AWS. So there, who was saying he got 14,000?
Sir,
Abhishek, sir.
Abhishek.
Abhishek. So Abhishek कहाँ दिखेगा? Where you will see the amount?
Sir, in the notification bell, where 3 is written. Yes,
Yeah.
sir,
So yes,
14,000.
you can see I have got 14,500. That is approx $200. Right, so I can create virtual machines limited to this amount only, and this is valid for 1 month only. After 1 month, if I create a virtual machine, I'll be charged, and I can use any virtual machine for total 750 hours of the month, only for 750 hours. So if I'm creating 3 virtual machines, right, and I'm using it for 5 hours a day, so it will be considered 15 hours. In trial I am talking, right? And when you create a virtual machine, you will be shown how much amount will be detected per month. You will get to know. So first what we'll do, I'll clear this screen and we'll go to home. So this is our home. So now we'll create a virtual machine. So here we have virtual machines, right? I hope everyone is able to see virtual machine.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes,
so
sir.
we'll click on virtual machines. We'll click on virtual machine. Now here we want to create a virtual machine. So on the left hand side we have a create virtual machine. Right, so I'll click on create virtual machine. Right, so now subscription is free trial. Now resource group. Here we want to create a resource group. So for this lab you need to use the same resource group whichever you will be creating, and the region should also be same. So here I'll take region as East US only. Right, I'll take East US only, and here I'll create a resource group. And when I'll create another second VM, right, in second VM my this resource group and region should be same only. It should be same only. Right, so I'll create a resource group. So let's say tutorial plaza RG, so resource group, and okay, I have created a resource group. So if I drop down, I'm having only one, that is tutorial plaza RG resource group. Virtual machine name, so I'll give as Spain DC. This is my virtual machine name. Region, I'll go with default East US. Availability options, I'll go with default. Now image, I need to select an image. So I'll click on drop down. So here you can see we have multiple images. I have Windows Server 2016 data center edition also. So I can select that. Right. So if I click on see all images, right, so here from the left hand side or from here I can filter it also. So operating system is all, I can click on it and I can say uncheck all, and I need Windows Server 2016 and 19. That's all. So it will only show me server 2016 and publisher name is Oracle and all that are coming. Publisher type is Microsoft and publisher name is also Microsoft only. Okay. Right, so it is showing me, it is searching 2016 because the base will be on Windows Server 2016. I'm not able to see that. Okay, I'll close this and we'll go with default. So I'll select Windows Server 2016 Data Center Edition, and don't check this box accidentally also. Don't check this box. If you check this box, you will be billed more than 1 lakh rupees. Right? Don't check this box accidentally also. Right, now it is asking size of the VM, what kind of size you need. So you can see it is showing me two virtual CPUs and 8 GB of RAM. It will be billed approx 10,000 per month. So I can click on see all sizes. So here I need a small VM with one CPU. So you can see I am having this one CPU with 1 GB of RAM and two data disk I can attach. Right, so I can select this or I can go with this also. So this will be billed me 6,6626 per month. If I select this, it will be billed me around 736 rupees. You can see it will be billed me around 736 rupees. So I'll select this one B1S, right, because it is my domain controller. 1 GB of RAM would be enough for me and one virtual CPU will be enough for me. So you can see this is my one virtual CPU and this is 1 GB of RAM. Right, so I'll go with this option. I'll click select. So you can see one virtual CPU and 1 GB of RAM. It is loading price. Right, so let the price load. Now it is asking username. Right, so username cannot contain special characters. Username must not include reverse words. The value must be between 1 and 20 characters long. Right, so I'll give the username as trainer. Now it is asking password. So password I'll give India @ 123. sorry, it is asking 12 characters. Okay, so I'll give the 12 characters as so India at the rate 1 2 3 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. I need hash 24, right? So I am giving this as my password, and I have confirmed the password, right? And now it is asking allow port rules, inbound rules. So allow selected ports, you can see it is allowing RDP, right? So RDP is required, so we'll go with RDP. Licensing, so save up to 49% with the license you already own using Azure hybrid benefit. So at present, would you like to use an existing license? I'll not check this box because we don't have existing license. We'll move next. Then it is asking OS disk type. So here you need to compulsorily select standard HDD, don't select SSD. If you select SSD, it will charge a very huge amount, because for this hard disk also it will be charged, right? So you need to select standard HDD because we are just evaluating, right? So I'll select standard HDD, and encryption type, I don't require any encryption type, so I'll leave with the default mechanism, right? Now it is asking create and attach a new disk. I'll select create. So this is the disk name, source type none, empty disk. So it is asking 1024 gigs. I don't require that much big, so I'll click on change size, and here I'll select standard HDD, and I'll go with 32 GB. So 32 GB is much enough, or you can select 64 GB also. So let's say I'll select 64 GB, right? I have selected 64 GB, and I'll click OK. And if I go to advanced, I'll not do anything here. I'll just move next to networking. So here you can see it is creating a virtual network in the name of resource group hyphen vnet, and my subnet IP is default. This is my subnet IP. Public IP, it is showing this public IP, but instead if I go to the drop down box, let me, there is nothing. So what I'll do, I'll create new. So here in assignment, I'll say static, because we will be accessing this virtual machines from outside, not from the internal network. We will be accessing from our desktops. So we require a static IP address which does not change, So here you need to click on create new, and you need to select the assignment as static, and I'll click OK, right? So now NIC networking security group will be basic. Public inbound ports allow selected ports, that is RDP 3389, and I'll not select any. About the more services you select, the more you will be billed. We'll go to next, management, right? So you can ignore all this, we don't require at present this. Next, hold on, what is was saying your subscription is not registered to. Okay, eventually I don't require, right? So we'll move next, and we'll review and attend create. So my subscription ID is, let it appear. Right, so see, my subscription is free trial. This is my resource group, this is my machine name, region is East US, availability I haven't selected, images data center edition, standard B1S, one virtual CPU, 1 gigs of RAM, username trainer, RDP port is permitted, I don't have any virtual Windows license, disk I have selected standard HDD, right? So this is my virtual network, this will be my subnet, and public IP I'll be given, and this all we didn't select it, and we'll click create. So you can see it is showing deployment in progress. It will take some time, let it go on. Meanwhile, what you can do, I'll give you the time to start with this lab.
Sir, how much?
Right, so I am having virtual machines and this is my virtual machine, right? And you can see this is my public IP address, 52.224.63.47. It is 52.224.63.47. I'll copy this public IP address. Just not showing what. Okay, at present it is running, and I can access my virtual machine using this public IP address. Right. So first I'll click this virtual machine, and it is already started. This is my public IP address. I can copy it. I have copied it. Now I'll go to MSTSC. Run MSTSC. Right, so my MSTSC dialog box has opened. I'll paste the public IP address. I'll click connect. So it is asking for the credentials. So my account name I have given trainer, so I need to give that account name only. So my account name is trainer and password is india@123#24. Right, I'll click OK, and yes. So we have already seen how to connect through RDP. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Just here, one thing is different, that you need to go to the virtual machine, you need to copy the public IP, and then you need to connect through RDP. That was extra, right? How to connect through RDP, that we have seen. So you need to go to the virtual machine by searching the virtual machines. Click on the virtual machine, then you will find a public IP address. Take that public IP address and connect to your virtual machine. So once virtual machine is connected, let it appear, because it is 1 GB RAM. So till we configure this machine as a domain controller, we will find a bit of challenge because it is 1 GB RAM. Then what we'll do, we don't need to use this machine, it will be rarely used. So in first half, screen was working properly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a moment, let me check. Right, so now I'll go to local server, and you can see now my computer name is PNDC only, the name I gave. And if I come to Ethernet 2, this is my Ethernet 2, right? So if I come to Ethernet 2, IPv4 properties, I'll right click and go to status, details, and you can see here I have received the IP addresses 10.0.0.4. Right, my DHCP server is this and DNS server is also this. Right, so here we'll be modifying something. some settings. Or here we will not modify, we'll be creating another two machines. In that we'll give DNS server of this machine, right? So we'll
Sir,
be
I'm
having
facing screen lagging. I don't know whether other people are facing it or not.
Yes, sir. I'm still on a DC.
Sir,
It's
I'm
loading.
seeing the Ethernet.
see hold on, let me reconnect to the session. I'll disconnect and reconnect. I'll share my screen again. Has screen appeared?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll everyone is able to view my virtual machine,
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? So I'm having Ethernet 2, right? So I'll right click and go to status, details, and my IP address is 10.0.04 with a subnet mask of class C. And my this is default gateway. This is my DHCP server and DNS server. So I don't need to do any changes on this. I'll add one more DNS server, or I'll add DNS server this and one more of this, or I can exclude on adding this, but when we'll be creating two more virtual machines, right? So two more virtual machines will, one will be our client OS and one will be our SCCM server. So in this, DNS would be of this. DNS would be of this. So what we'll do on this machine, I'll deploy Active Directory services. So I'll go to dashboard. Now before going to dashboard, I'll add one more Ethernet. Probably I'll require one more Ethernet because this is my DHCP IP address. Okay, we'll see how to add one more Ethernet address, Ethernet, right? So I'll minimize this. I'll go to my Azure, right? So I am on my machine. So first I'll close this. So this is my virtual machine. I hope everyone is able to view.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
I'll click on my virtual machine, and here we have networking section. Here we have networking. So I'll go to networking, right? Once we have added networking, we can add one more interface. So it is not okay. Yeah, before that I need to shut down the machine. So I'll shut down the machine. Right, I'll come back. So it is in running state. Let it get shut down. I'll refresh the screen. Still it is getting shut down. So let it, I'll stop it, right? I'll click on stop. So yes, I want to stop. So here my status should be stopped. I have clicked on stop, right? So we'll wait for a couple of moments. So you can see it is running the task. Its execution stop command on one selected succeeded, right? I'll just refresh the screen. I'll click refresh. Right, so it is stopped. Now I'll select the virtual machine. I'll click on the virtual machine, Spain DC. Then on settings, I'll go to networking. And here we have attached network interface. So I'll click on attached network interface, create and attach network interface. So we'll click create. So resource group is same. So here I'll give DC net. So this will be my DC network, and rest I'll go with default. Here I'll give private IP address. Assignment should be static. Right, or let's say we'll give dynamic at present. Let me give static. So let me give 10.0.0.100 and create. Right, so my another network interface card is getting created. So it will be in the list once it is created. Right, so
Sir,
yes.
you are recording this. You are recording this.
Sorry.
You are recording the session right now.
Yeah.
Because it is lagging too much. Lagging too much. Not able to understand what you are.
It is recording. The session is getting recorded.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because we are unable
Because
to
we
get
are
it
unable
what
to
you are
get it
doing,
what
sir.
you are doing, sir.
In evening, we
In
will go through
evening,
the
we will
video
go
and we
through the
will
video
perform,
and
sir.
we will perform, sir.
Right, so I have created a new network interface and it is already attached. So if I close this and I'll refresh the screen, so you can see here it is Spain DC 920. If I go to DC net, right, so you can see I am having a IP address 10.100, 10.0.0.100. So I am having two interfaces. One is this interface and one is this interface. Two interfaces are there. Right, so now we will power on the virtual machine again. So I'll close this window. I'll select the virtual machine and I'll click start. So where we stopped, just one button before, there is start. So I'll click on start. Yes, I want to start the virtual machine. So now my virtual machine is starting. Right, so my machine is started. I'll copy this IP address and I'll connect to RDB session again. MSTSC. Okay. My IP address is already there. I'll click connect. Password India @ 123 #2.4. and okay. So let the server manager open. Right, so my server manager is up. I'll go to local server, and here we have two IP addresses, so Ethernet 2 and Ethernet 3. I'll go to Ethernet 3, right click, status, details. So it is taking from DHCP 10.100, right? So it has added to reservation. So what I'll do, I'll give a static IP address here. I'll click close, properties. I'll uncheck this. I'll go to IPv4, properties, 10.0.0.100, 255.255.255, gateway is my 10.1, and preferred DNS also I'll give 10.100, and I'll click OK, close, and close. Again I'll validate the settings. So you can see this is the IP address I have given. Right, so my IP address is done, static IP address. I'll just refresh the screen. Right, so my IP address is given. Now I'll go to dashboard. Now the same process, we'll create a domain controller. Right, so role based or feature based installation. Next, Spain DC. Next, I'll select Active Directory Domain Services. I'll select DNS. Next, 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 and install. I know enough storage. We have given 64 GB. Okay, let me check. Meanwhile, you guys add and shut down your machine, add a second network adapter, and give a static IP address.